Welcome to Share Talk, the only podcast where investors come first.
Hello and welcome to Share Talk. Today I'm joined by Mick Billing, who is Executive Chairman at Thor Mining. How are you today, Mick?
G'day, Zach, and nice to talk to you. Great to be with you.
Right, you've had several RNSs in the last couple of weeks, and news from Pilbara today. But run us through what you think are the highlights for Thor Mining at the moment.
Yeah, sure, Zach. I guess over the last week we've had announcements, project-style announcements, in three areas, and it's a bit unfortunate. You go several months without any news, and then it all turns up at once, which is not the ideal way to do it. But sometimes when things happen, you must report them as they do happen. I guess what's new with Thor is the recent option to acquire some vanadium and uranium interests in Colorado and Utah in the US. We're going through the back end of or the final stages of due diligence. There's a couple of boxes left to tick that are proving a little stubborn in finding the appropriate detail, but I think we're quite close. But in the meantime, we've done some sampling at the Colorado location and came up with some with results from 8 of the 21 samples collected. The other 13, believe it or not, were too radioactive for the lab to handle, so they've had to go to a different lab. The 8 we did get assays for, they were samples that our guys on site said these are mainly vanadium focused, and lo and behold, they average 1% V2O5, which is the standard way of measuring vanadium, and they're going as high as 2% in one or two cases. But they also had a little bit of uranium, and with the best reading, I think, of about 400 parts per million, which is in uranium terms is quite good grade, and as a supporting product to, in this case, the main mineralisation of vanadium, it's very handy indeed. We're now waiting on the other 13 assays, Zach, and I suspect we'll get those in the next week or two. Hopefully one rather than two, but there's never a guarantee with these things.
Right, and so you're pretty. I mean, so far it looks encouraging. Let's say.
It does. The other samples look like relatively good grade uranium, and this is from a part of the world where high-grade uranium and vanadium have been mined quite a bit during the 20th century. From the late 1940s to the early 1980s, this was the go-to place in the US for high-grade uranium. The really attractive thing from our perspective, apart from the fact that it is a high-grade area, is that just around the corner, about 50 kilometres away, is an operating processing plant that would process material of this nature, and it's only running at 25% or 30% capacity. I think our listeners would appreciate that licensing a processing plant and financing a processing plant for uranium in particular in any part of the world is a fairly challenging task. If there's one around, well, that's a very big step forward. In fact, it's a giant leap forward. We've not yet spoken to the operators of that. We're going to complete the due diligence and complete the acquisition before we do that. But we are hopeful that we'll be able to come to some sort of arrangement with them in the event that we can come up with some mineable inventory there.
So basically, it's obviously a great cost saver, etc. For Thor Mining once you get going.
Oh, indeed it is. The hurdles for development Uranium Project are quite staggering, and mostly they're around, not exclusively, but mostly they're around processing, tailings disposal, and things of that nature. If there's already a facility in place within economic trucking distance, that's an enormous advantage.
Right, and going forward, I mean, how much of the Thor business plan will be made up of the vanadium uranium type of contribution over the let's say the next year or two, or whatever time frame you're looking at?
I think in terms of what we're going to be spending money in on the ground, that's probably going to end up with, say, somewhere between 25% and a third of our expenditure. Where we don't need to spend any money on Molyhil other than for development. Molyhil is pardon me, packaged up and ready to go, and as our listeners know, we hope this would have been financed a long time ago, but it hasn't happened yet. The current market for tungsten isn't great, but there's some things happening there that hopefully we can announce some positive news without issuing a guarantee, of course, in the next 2 or 3 months.
Molyhil, I think the last time we spoke was quite a while ago. I mean, that was something you were talking about, but you think that we're sort of entering the home stretch in terms of getting that sorted?
I'd hesitate to say to be that bullish, Zach. I think Molyhil is a very, very good project, and even in today's depressed tungsten pricing, it would still make money. But I believe the tungsten price needs to come up a little bit before finance is likely, and there are signs, I think, that later on this year that's doable. But as I said before, if this was easy, it would have been done a long time ago. You cannot hedge tungsten, and you cannot hedge molybdenum, which they are the tools that people use to facilitate financing of copper projects, gold projects, nickel projects, for example, and even iron ore and stuff of that nature, and oil. If you can sell it forward or contract the sale forward at a particular price, that takes a lot of the risk out for the financiers. Niche products like tungsten and molybdenum a little bit harder. That doesn't mean it's impossible. It just means it's difficult.
Right, I've learned something new regarding those two metals, so that's good. Can we go on to just today's announcement, because Pilbara's and obviously gold as well is the hottest, one of the hottest properties around. Obviously you've got other things there, nickel and chromium, but the update today in terms of the follow-up sampling, I think the listeners would be interested in that, very interested in that at the moment.
Yeah, sure, Zach. We, back in around November, December, once the tenements there that we had acquired were granted, and you can't do too much on the ground until they are granted, we engaged a geological consultant who has experience in the area, and they did a bunch of sampling relatively randomly at the time, because nobody had been on that ground, or there were no records of anybody having been on that ground and done anything that we could unearth. There was a bit of iron ore to one side of it, but that's most of that is not on the tenement, or very little of it, if any, is on the tenement, and the rest had never been explored for precious metals or base metals. So George and his crew went on site, and over several days they sampled from 44 sites sediments in streams and soil samples. And out of 44 samples, they found 15 had gold. 13 of those were visible gold that you could see in the pan, and there were another 2 that you couldn't see in the pan but came through with the assays. And 4 of the samples on the western side had some nickel and chrome. And they are in ultramafic rocks, which are host rocks, often host rocks for sulfide nickel deposits. So, and chrome is often known as an indicator metal for sulfide nickel deposits. So that was totally unexpected. We were hoping to find some gold, and we did. In fact, we got far better results in proportion to the number of samples taken than we had expected. But these 4 nickel chrome results were quite unexpected. So we're going back there now. The same team are going back. We're unable to go personally to Western Australia to do the work ourselves. The COVID-19 access restrictions still apply, and unless you're based in Western Australia, you can't go to the Pilbara without 14 days quarantine on the way over and then 14 days quarantine on the way back, which is a little restrictive. So this guy and his team are up there now, and over the next week or just under a week, they're going to go to the areas where they had very good encouragement, test them again, and then work upstream towards where hopefully the source rocks for this mineralisation are.
Okay. Right. And
in the nickel and chrome department, as well as doing that, just to the south of the area where we sampled, we've found from old mines department records a gossan, which is outcropping mineralisation of reported nickel that we didn't know about, and so we're also going. The team is also going there to sample that in some detail for obvious reasons. So
right.
We'll get some. That'll be finished sometime next week. If there's any visible gold or visible mineralisation, we'll report that, and then the assays will be a week or so, or 2 or 3 weeks after that. But we're quite hopeful. We've had encouragement, and out of this, we hope to have some drill targets, which would be a great thing.
Right. So that looks exciting. Maybe that's a bit over the top, but that looks encouraging. Let's say. What do we? I mean, and there's a lot going on. What are we looking forward to in the near term, as far as you're concerned?
As well as what's happening in the uranium vanadium business and in this Pilbara gold, I won't talk too much about nickel, but the Pilbara gold we'll say for now. There's also some work going on in the in situ recovery copper projects here in South Australia. There's some news out on that quite soon. These guys have made some quite very, very useful technical breakthroughs in with testing the work at Kapunda, and we're pretty excited about that. And in addition to that, there's coming up in the next couple of months. There's some more drilling at Kapunda. Probably more gold focused than anything else, because we really do want to chase down the gold story at Kapunda, where probably a third of the historical holes had gold assays to them, but not in sufficient density for a resource estimate, and we hope to be able to address that in the next few months, and some more copper and gold recovery work from the field itself. So there's lots happening there. Most of that's being paid for by the Australian government by way of the research grant. But we've got 25% equity, and we're quite close to having relatively close to having a 30% slice of this animal as well.
Right. So I mean, I think we haven't spoken for about a year, but or maybe more. But so it's a much more rounded business, a broader business than it was even a year ago in terms of what you're doing.
It is. In the last year, we've added the gold, and I guess more than a year ago we added the gold, but it's only in the last 8 months or so that we've done any work on this gold, because it took a while for the tenements to be granted, and then the uranium and vanadium interest in Colorado and in Utah. That's brand new. The deal's still to be completed, but we're pretty excited by that as well.
Mick Billing, Executive Chairman of Thor Mining, thank you very much indeed, and it's great to catch up.
Thanks very much for your time, and great to talk to you. Thank you.
Thank you for listening. Remember to visit our website for more news and other podcasts at www.share-talk.com.